college.
And all the neighbors would come.
I need someone to walk through this. I have an idea.
Stuffed animals.
I would laugh when I would do Shakespeare or something.
Kind of got to that place.
We finished the scene.
Hi, I'm LailaAli. I'm 31 years old, and I was born in Miami Beach, Florida, but I grew up in Los Angeles, California. I lived with both of my parents until I was about 8 or 9 years old, and then I lived with my mother. And obviously I grew up with my dad being Muhammad Ali, around a lot of attention, and at the same time it was not necessarily something that I loved and tried to run away from. I always thought that I'd be doing something special in my life that would help inspire and motivate people to follow their dreams. I didn't know exactly what it would be. When I was a little girl, I knew that I wanted to do something that was going to help change people's lives, going to make a difference in people's lives, something positive. I didn't know exactly what it was going to be. And I think maybe that came from watching my father and how he had an effect on people, a positive effect, to make people want to be better. And I just feel like that's what life's all about. I don't know where exactly it came from. I'm just glad I have it. You know, wherever my dad goes, people darn near fall to their knees because they love him, and it's not because he's such a great fighter. It's, you know, that he's such a strong man. He stood up for what he believed in. So all of that stuff is ingrained in me, and you know, I always want to make an impact, that type of impact on people's lives. As a child and growing up around my father, I never really understood how famous he is. And I think even now it's a little different being his daughter than it is to other people. I recognize that my dad is one of the most famous men in the world. I understand why people love him, but when you see someone differently, you see their faults, you don't put them on the pedestal the same way other people do. But not taken away from his greatness, you know, and it really shaped the way that I think about people, because my dad is one of the greatest men in the world, one of the strongest, you know, men that's made such a difference in the lives of so many people, but at the same time he's not perfect. So that let me know that it's okay not to be perfect. I've always pretty much liked my space, because growing up in my household with my dad, when my parents were still together, it was like an open door. It's like everyone knew Muhammad Ali lives at 55 Fremont Place, and you go to the guard gate and he's gonna say let him in. So it was like a public place. I mean, and I'm talking about, there were times when my mom had to get homeless families out of the house because my dad was, you know, letting them in. So as a child, there was never that quiet, safe, you know, family type of feeling. You know, it was just like there was always somebody new in and out of the house. So, you know, you never know what adults are saying to your kids, you know, when you're not around. Or I can't remember everything, but I'm sure I had a lot of crazy experiences. I've always been very tough as a child. You know, I was that type of person that, you know, you got your people that's like, oh, I don't want to fight because it's not right. And I was the type of person like, oh, you want to fight? Okay, what? You know, I was always like that. And so I knew I could fight. You know, I had it in me. So when I first saw women's boxing on television for the first time, I was just, how did I not know women box? How did I not know about this until now? Because I never wanted to be a fighter just by watching my dad. It wasn't an option to me until I actually saw women fighting, and I instantly wanted to do it, and I instantly felt like I could be a champion. You know, I knew. It wasn't a question. So for me, I was in school full time. You know, I had a business. I started a nail salon. I was doing nails because I've always been really independent and wanted to go to school for business. So boxing was just like, how am I just going to become a boxer? You know, it was like the idea of it, even though it excited me, it was like, how is that going to happen? What are people going to think? You know, I'm supposed to be going to school. And it took me about a year to actually follow the dream and go to the gym, train, make sure I had the talent. And, you know, because I already knew that it was going to be a big deal. Muhammad Ali's daughter wanted to be a fighter. And that was the other side of it. Oh, man, the world, once they get a hold of this, I already saw it flash before me what was going to happen. You know, so I was 17 when I first saw women's boxing on television. Well, one thing about me is that I knew I had the drive and I knew I had what it takes inside to be a fighter, but I want to make sure I actually had the talent. Now, it needs to be cultivated, I know that, in the ring. I've seen it happen before, and you know, you have to have a certain toughness, a certain edge. And boxing always came first to me, and I'm a whole different person when I'm the fighter me is a whole different person than I am now.